Here are 3 things to consider when choosing a theoretical framework. And here is a way to identify a theoretical framework that is relevant to your topic. And this is how you would know that your chosen theoretical framework will hold. So there you have it, lovelies. I have basically given you the whole process of selecting a theoretical framework. But let's break it down step by step with examples so that you gain more clarity and that you are able to select your own theoretical framework that is relevant to your own research. My name is Lerato Kanomsa of All Things Academia, where we explore and explain all things in the academic world. Okay, lovelies, before we even get to the steps, let's first deal with the elephant in the room. What is a theoretical framework? Well, a theoretical framework is a fancy term that academics use when they're referring to a set of ideas and concepts that helps you understand and explain what you are studying. Yes, that's all that it is. A theoretical framework exists to guide your study, helping you make sense of your findings within the broader context of the existing knowledge. So think of a theoretical framework as a pair of glasses. A theoretical framework is the lens through which you look at a particular topic. So let's take social media as an example. So if you put on the feminist pair of glasses and you look at social media through a feminist lens, meaning using feminist theories, then you will consider things like how social media impacts women, how social media portrays the image of women, how social media perpetuates the ideas of objectifying women, and so forth. But if you take the same topic, social media, and you put on lenses of minorities, and you use minority lens to look through the topic, for example, using minority theories, then you think about things like power dynamics in social media, racial issues that rises in social media, and so on. So it is the same topic, but you're coming in with a different pair of lenses that you are wearing. So you're taking it from a different angle. So when you use a specific theoretical framework, it is basically you telling your readers that I am looking at this topic through these lenses. I am not looking at social media in its broadness and trying to solve everything about social media, but I'm particularly looking at social media through this pair of glasses, and this is what I'm focusing on. And yes, that's all there is to it. Now that we understand what a theoretical framework is and what is it useful for, it is time to move to the important part of this video, and that is how to select a theoretical framework that is relevant to your research topic. Well, you start with the research question and your purpose statement. Your research question basically reveals what question you are asking through the study. What are you trying to solve? What are you trying to answer, if that's even possible? Whereas your purpose statement reveals your goals about the study. What are your aims and objective? What it is that you are trying to achieve by doing the study. Of course, we cannot solve the whole of the world's problems, but there is something that you are targeting to do with this particular study. So from the research question, you can gather some key concepts of the study, and from the purpose statement, you can gather some variables of the study. So let me break this down for you. If our research question is, how does social media usage impact the mental well-being of teenagers? When you look at this research question, you need to think about what key concepts comes out of that research question. For example, when you look at social media usage, that is a key concept. So that can be turned to social media usage patterns. When you look at mental well-being, that is a key concept. But when you think about the usage or the social media usage, you start thinking around what kind of content is being consumed during this usage. When you look at the impact in this research question, then you start thinking about the quality of that online interaction. And this is what we're going to use as key concepts. So taking these 4 concepts, you can break them down into variables. So in this video, I'm not going to go into details in the difference between dependent variables and independent variables. I will have a separate video for that. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to just break this down into variables so that you can see the process. Taking the concept social media usage patterns, you start thinking around frequency, like how frequent do these teenagers go into the social media platform, and the duration, how long do they stay within these platforms. So when you think about the type of content consumed, which is one of our key concepts, then you start thinking around the nature of the posts that these teenagers look at while they're on these platforms. You think about the images they look at and the media that they consumed during their time that they spend on the social media platforms. Moving on to the quality of interaction or quality of online interaction as a concept, then here you start to imagine or think about whether the time spent on this platform is positive or negative. For our last concept, which is mental health well-being, here you want to understand what do we mean by mental health well-being. Are we referring to their emotional well-being, or are we referring to their psychological distress, or are we referring to their mental health status altogether? You have done the breakdown of these concepts and variables. You have now all the concepts and the variables that are relevant for your study. All you have to do now is go find a theoretical framework that covers those concepts and variables. And yes, lovelies, it is that simple. That's all you have to do. And this is what I'm going to show you in the next step. How exactly do you go about doing exactly that? The part that we just covered gives you an idea of what kind of theoretical framework you are looking for your study. This part here shows you where to find it and how to find it. And this is by conducting a literature review. Yes, lovelies. All you need to do is take the key concepts that you have identified, type them one by one into a search bar in Google Scholar, and see what articles or research comes up. Take those articles that are appealing to you or that speaks directly to your research and scan through them. Actually, just skip the scanning part and go straight to their theoretical framework section. And there, check what theories did they use and what theoretical framework did they refer to. And to narrow down your search, target the articles that covers the variables that you have identified for your study. And there it is, lovelies. You are going to find a theoretical research in existing literature, in studies that have been conducted before yours. While you are in those theoretical framework sections, identify 3 to 5 theories that speaks directly to your research. And then from those, select one that is more relevant to your research. It is important to have at least 3 because this is going to help you as you write the theoretical framework, justifying why you chose that one. It is also important here to note that while you are on those theoretical framework sections, you must look out for other scholars that have used the same theory that you are going to use and look at how they've used it and applied to their own study. But also look through the literature on how the theory has developed over time. But it is important to trace it back to the original author or the original founder of the theory. Yes, so that you are able to read it within its original context and be able to apply it in the context that you want to use it without filters of other authors within your field. At this stage of this process, you have already identified a theoretical framework that is relevant to your research that you're going to use. And what is left now is only 2 steps, which is 1, checking to make sure that that theoretical framework will hold. And secondly, to write the theoretical framework. To ensure that your theoretical framework will hold, you need to run it past this checklist. Number 1, you need to make sure that your theoretical framework fits well with your research question. This will help your analysis to be focused on the important things and to read well. Number two, you need to check if your theoretical framework can be tested in your study. Your ideas should be something that you can measure. Also, check if other scholars have used this or tested this theory in similar ideas as yours. Number three, make sure that your theoretical framework fits well with the unique things of your study. Your theoretical framework should be able to fit well with the research participants you are studying, with the location you are conducting your study. Number four, make sure that your theoretical framework fits well within your study and all the components of your study put together. If there are confusing bits and there are some things that do not fit well, maybe you need to reconsider or try using a conceptual framework, which is a next video that I will do. But make sure that this theory fits well with every part of your study, because if it doesn't, things can really get difficult when it's time to analyze your findings. Now, the last part to this process is obviously actually writing the theoretical framework. Now, if you want to learn how to do this, then click on the video that is appearing on your screen right now, because that is the video that will give you all the steps that you need to take when you are writing your theoretical framework that will not only hold your study, but that will be convincing and that will impress your examiners. So go ahead and click on that video and I will see you there in seconds as I project to you love and grace in a way of 2 Corinthians 13 verse 14.